Hi, this is Fernando Herboso with Maxus Realty Group, reallynicehomes.com, and today we're going to continue with the home selling tips videos that we're doing to help home sellers sell their properties for the most money at the right timing. And today I'm going to be speaking about a topic that is being experienced by many home sellers in my area. They have their homes for sale right now listed on the MLS, and there are no buyers inside. And the weeks have passed, months have passed, and nothing is going on. And now these homeowners are asking themselves, why is my house not selling? Here is a list of important facts we gathered from homes that did not sell. Houses do not sell for just 3 reasons, and these 3 reasons are based on my experiences from many years selling properties. The wrong price, no marketing, or bad presentation. And I can assure you, either one of those things or a combination of all 3 of them will assure you a no sell. And this is your problem, and more likely the reason why you are watching this video on homes not selling is because you have one of these problems or all 3 of them. You have the wrong price, you don't have no marketing, or there is a bad presentation there somewhere. And this is very unfortunate because the problem with most listing agents is that they subscribe to the 3Ps method of selling. This is what we call the 3Ps method of selling in real estate world. The first P is put a yard on the sign, the second P is put it on MLS, and the third P is pray it sells. And this is why most houses fail to sell. And more likely, if you are watching this video, is because this is what's going on with your property. Nothing is going on, because this is basically the whole concept of the actions taken by your real estate agent to try to sell your property. And unfortunately, it's not working. Over my years of selling properties, I learned this, that listings are like babies. They need attention all the time. And if your agent does not have the pulse of your local market, your results are going to be very predictable. And the secret is positioning your house to sell. And I can tell you that the problems that I see with a lot of home sellers and their agents is that there is no communication whatsoever. And in some cases, even the agent is avoiding phone calls from the seller, trying to find out what's going on. What are you doing to help me sell my property? What is the feedback from the buyers that have come over here? What are they telling you? There's no communication whatsoever, and that is really the problem, where the reason why your house might not be selling. And this is something that you have to avoid if you decided you want to hire somebody else, or you go into a different way to sell your property. You have to have the pulse of the local market on your hands to make the right decisions and help you position your house to sell. And let me share with you a so-called secret that a lot of great agents that have success selling homes utilize in order for them to help them sell their properties. It is the absorption rate in real estate. And I want to explain to you what the absorption rate is, because this is a very important factor that we utilize in order for us to help position our listings to sell. The absorption rate is the rate at which homes are selling in a given area during a given time period. And the absorption rate of an area, which could be a neighborhood, a zip code, city, or zone, it is calculated by dividing the number of sales in a given month by the number of available homes for sale. And I'm going to give you an example because I don't want to complicate you with different formulas and trying to explain to you exactly how this thing works. Really, the only thing that you need to understand is this, that if one house is selling every 30 days inside a neighborhood, and there are only 6 homes available to sell, that means then you have 6 months of inventory available. It's as simple as that. And that is the really fastest way to understand what is the absorption rate in a neighborhood. And we analyze, if one house is selling every 30 days, it's because we went in the last 6 months trying to find out how many houses sold in the last 6 months. And in this example, let's say that we did find that there were 6 homes that sold in the last 6 months. That means that there is 1 home being sold every single month. And now, if we know that we only have 6 homes that are active for sale in the neighborhood, we know that we have 6 months of inventory. And that is information that you can use now to making sure that your house is the one that is going to sell in the next 30 days. Because we know there's going to be a buyer that is going to come to buy a house in the next 30 days. And that is what positioning your house to sell is all about. The absorption rate is essentially the speed of sales of a particular area. And a great listing agent uses this information to predict when a house will sell and what houses will not sell. Positioning your house to sell is a delicate act of controlling the local market while your competition sleeps. And most likely, that is what's going on with your real estate agent right now. They're sleeping. They don't know what the absorption rate of your neighborhood is. They don't know when your house is going to sell, if it's going to sell. Because if you think about it, when we talk about the absorption rate on that particular example that I mentioned, where you have 6 houses that are available in this neighborhood and only 1 house is going to sell in the next 30 days, you have to look at those 6 houses. And those 6 houses has to be analyzed to making sure what are the buyers are going to choose. The next buyer that's coming to buy the house, what house is he going to choose to buy in that particular neighborhood? What's the reasons? And that is really what the communication factor is. Very, very key ingredient when selling a property. The communication factor between the seller and the listing agent. So this is the reason why we use the absorption rate to our advantage, because we want to make sure our listings are going to sell, and we want to make sure the listings from our competition are not going to sell. And this is as simple as it gets, and we need to take charge of the way how we position the house. And we use the absorption rate to position your house to sell. And understand this, that in the same example that I'm giving you for 6 months of inventory with 6 houses that are available for sale, and when really in reality after 6 months all those 6 houses should sell, you have to understand there are variations on the absorption rate, because there's going to be new inventory that's coming in as it happens. So it's not going to be 6 houses available next month. It could be 7 houses or 8 houses. So that means that as the number of listings that are increasing and coming in a certain neighborhood, that means that you have to position the house and making sure that your house is going to be on the top 1 or number 2 position to sell, and making sure that your competition is on the other side. And I can assure you, there are going to be some houses that are going to remain on last position, or maybe on the last 4th, 5th, and 6th position, and they could be like that for months. And that's why you see some listings that are on the market for 365 days, because those houses are in the last position and they're never going to sell, and there are new listings that are coming in, they are selling, and then those houses remain unsold because they don't have understanding what the absorption rate of that neighborhood is and how they can position the house to sell. You have to understand also that the location of your house has something to say about if your house is going to sell versus the location of a house in another area of the neighborhood. Whether it could be a corner lot, or it could be a house that is back into the woods as opposed to back into other houses. And also the type of houses. You have to understand that it could be condos, townhouses, or single family homes. You have to take that in consideration. And then the price and the condition. The price and the condition goes hand to hand. If you have a great looking house and a great presentation, your price is high, it is always going to sell faster than a house that may be priced lesser than you, but it has a bad condition. So we have to have a balance between the price and the condition. And if your house needs work, and your house had bad presentation for one reason or another, then you have to adjust the price to making sure that you position the house to sell as well. It is all about a communication between you and your real estate agent. And this is what you need to do. You need to go and have your agent pull all 6 listings that's competing with you, and knowing that one of those listings are going to sell in the next 30 days. And pretend you're a buyer. and talk about what house do you think is going to sell next? What house is going to be picked by the next buyer who's going to be buying a house in the next 30 days? And I ask my clients, do you want to be in position number one? And what is going to take to be in position number one? In some cases, that's nearly impossible to be in position number one because you may have a cheap foreclosure next door to you, and obviously you are not going to be able to compete with that, and someone is going to buy that first. But taking that in consideration, you want to be in position number two because as soon as that one is sold, you want to be in position to sell. And at the same time, by communication, you don't make a change on your price when you're trying to compete with this foreclosure. You wait for the foreclosure to sell before you move your price and put yourself in position and surprising your competition for the other houses that are trying to compete for the next buyer, and making sure that you are going to be the one that's going to be picked in the next 30 days. It's all about communication between you and your realtor, and understanding, having the same goal, understanding that you have to be on the same page on everything that you're doing when selling a home. There are certain things that must be done by the seller, and take the initiative to making sure that your agent understands what is the absorption rate of your neighborhood. Ask him that question, because if you're going to hire another realtor, that is the first question you should be asking. If the realtor doesn't know what you're talking about, then you need to find somebody else. My name is Fernando Herboso. When results are important to you, please call me at 301-246-0001 for Maryland, DC, and Virginia. ReallyNiceHomes.com. Thank you. Have a great day.